Hello, children. Today, let us learn one more interesting topic, that is deserts. Yes, our next major landform is deserts. Children, do you remember about the Western Desert that which we learned in your previous class? Yes, we have seen about the Western Desert of our country. So we are having few details about desert, the life in the region, the people about there, and the availability of water, the animals, the wildlife. Yes. So now let us know few more details. Okay. So the characteristic features of deserts or the physical features of desert, let us learn in this video. Here the regions that receive very little rainfall, children. Deserts receive very little rainfall. Yes. And they also experience a dry climate. Yes. When the area receives very little rainfall, the amount of rainfall received, when it is received in a very low levels or low amount, so what will happen, children? The climate will be very dry. There will not be any moisture in that particular land. Yes, that is the reason. The deserts, for many years there was very little rainfall, which made them to turn into deserts, children. Okay, that is the reason, because of deserts having on our earth, because that particular areas will receive very little rainfall. Okay, so they experience definitely a dry climate. So let us see what are the characteristics features for a desert. Deserts have very hot days and cold nights. So the days are very hot and the nights are very cold in deserts. We can experience frequent dust storms. Yes. So hot winds will be blowing across the deserts throughout the day, children. So these hot winds flow or blow with a great speed too. So what will happen? They also are making dust storms. The sand to create dust storms. They make the wind blows in such a way that they create dust storms, and it is not a very favorable situation whenever we are in a if at all we face a dust storm, children. So these are the what a regular kind of thing what can be experienced in a desert every day, very frequently, not in a day. In a day it is in multiple times. Okay, not once or twice, but multiple times these dust storms can be experienced if at all we happen to be in a desert. Yes. So, and the next thing, hills of sand called sand dunes. Yes, children, can you see in this picture a small hills of sand? Yes. So, and they're in multiple places. Yes. So, we can, that are only known as what? Sand dunes, hills of sand. Yes. So, children, because of this wind blowing across the desert throughout the day, the hot winds, what will happen? They carry lot of dust, sand along with them. So, frequently these sand dunes are also changed. So never we have to make it a point, a sand dune as a reference, because we will be definitely lost using a sand dune as a reference anytime when you are in a desert. Next, why? Because the region receives very little rainfall, children. The, obviously what will happen on the vegetation? It will have very less vegetation or no vegetation sometimes. Yes, when there is no water, definitely what will happen? We cannot have our agriculture to be continued. There are very less scope of growing plants there. Only some desert plants, as you all know, like cactus and date palms and all, can be only grown, which requires very little water to grow. Okay, children. So once again, let us see what are deserts. Deserts are the major landforms which receive very little rainfall, and they experience a very dry climate, and they have very hot days and cold nights, and frequent dust storms are experienced in a desert. And the hills of sand dunes are called hills of sand or called sand dunes. And because of very little rainfall, it also have very less vegetation. Okay, children. Now let us also look into further more details of the desert. Children, most of the deserts in the world are located in the western part of the continent. Where? Towards the which direction? Towards the western part of the continents. For example, if you see what is that lesson name that we have dealt in our fourth grade, children, Western Desert. Yes, the Western Desert, also known as the Great Indian Desert. Yes, the Indian Desert. So, or the Thar Desert, all are same. But why it is Western Desert? Because if at all you look, you have an idea about our Indian map, towards the west, Rajasthan is the desert state in our country. It is located towards which side, children? The direction? It is in the west. In the same ways, the other all deserts, the great deserts of the world, are also towards the western part of their particular continent or country. So that is the reason it is, most of the deserts are located in the western part of continents. And on the leeward side of the mountains, again leeward, what is leeward, children? We learned previously, the area, the slopes which receive very little rainfall. Yes, they receive very very little rainfall. So because there are no rains, definitely the land is very dry. Okay, so here we have few examples of the great deserts of the world, children. It is nothing but the Thar and the Arabian in Asia, the Sahara and Kalahari in Africa, and the Patagonian and the Atacama in South America, the Great Sandy Desert and the Great Victoria Desert in Australia are some examples of famous deserts in the world. Yes, children, after learning the famous deserts, I just want you to make a table, write down the continent name, and then also the desert name. Okay, children, please make a tabular form of this particular deserts of the great deserts of our world. Okay, children, have a nice day.